My name is Adam Frampton, farm in North Dorset. I've got an organic suckler herd, also do a bit of organic arable. We have just over 100 cows cut spring calving, and we take everything through to finish, which goes literally half a mile up the road to ABP. We mainly have Angus cross cattle. We're trying to introduce some Fleckvies as well, which is a Simmental sort of cross. I think I can use them in the suckler herd to produce, they produce more milk, so should I get better calves. I wanted to improve my sustainability on the farm and get more efficient at what I do by trying to improve the pastures that I use. I've got a lot of permanent ground on the floodplain, which regularly floods in the winter, and in the last few years has flooded a lot more than normal. And I'm just trying to introduce some better species in there to get some deeper rooting herbs and stuff into the grass lays to get more production out of it. It depends on how long the winter is. Makes quite a lot of difference to the sustainability really of the cattle need to be outside. It's the most efficient place for them to be. But where I have managed to get it established, it works a treat with more free draining with the deeper rooting herbs in the lay. I try and finish everything on homegrown forage using ryegrass lays and growing some whole crop peas and barley, which I successfully did last year. My silage was 21% protein, so the cattle finished really well last winter on that. So we can try and reduce anywhere between 18 months to sort of 22 months is what we're aiming at getting them away. This winter will be especially the same because we're short on forage. We're 35% down on our forage totals that we normally have. So it's going to be a challenging winter to make that last. I'm going to have to buy in a bit of organic protein just to help make that silage go a bit further. Silage quality is not so good either this year. We've only got sort of 14–15% proteins, and also hopefully with the kind autumn we can keep cattle out for longer. Split the fields up into small paddocks, sort of 3–4 acre paddocks, and doing sort of 2 to 3 day moves for the cows and calves, which has worked quite successfully, and getting more grass growth. Yeah. And it's just giving it enough rest period in between, which is challenging this summer, but in a more normal summer it should be possible. I did a total reseed on one field and then an overseed on another field. Both were reasonably successful last autumn. Especially on the permanent pasture, I don't really want to rip it up and start again, so there's a few different things. We use our Einbach to try and get a little bit of tilth in the spring and spread the seed on that way, or we use a direct drill or more uni drill to drill it that way. Or another way is just getting a bit of tilth with a power harrow, just top couple of inches, and trying to establish that way. So I've tried all different ways with varying degrees of success. After the drought, we looked like we were going to get some moisture, so we established a cover crop of leafy turnip just in order to hopefully get a late bite this autumn to keep my cows out longer, and that's been reasonably successful. I work really closely with our local vets, Fry's Moor. They're very proactive, doing the herd health plan and all year round. We do a lot of vaccinating, like I'm sure we all do, to keep on top of the herd health, because I'm trying to be very efficient. Calving in a very tight period, you need everything working, like I'm sure we all know. So that's been a really important relationship to me, working with them to try and get it right. Every year brings new challenges. To vaccinate for BVD and lepto, even though we're BVD free, we tag and test all the calves. The vets say we should still carry on, so it's a relatively cheap vaccination. IBR as well, just to keep on top of those things. And we test for yonis, but we've never had an issue with that, so we try and test regularly for that. This year I might experiment with weaning. Normally wean towards the end of October and wean them all straight off, but this year I might, because of the weather, and I'm 35% down on my forage stock, so I'm thinking I'm going to maybe experiment keeping them on the cows a bit longer, trying to keep them out, and just try and experiment this year because I haven't got a lot of choice. But generally they'll be weaned and go in the shed, and then they'll go out next summer, and I'll try and push them if we have a good summer of grass. I don't know if I'll finish them at grass, but certainly they can get some good growth rates at grass. I love farming because it just every day brings a new challenge. Whether it be a positive or negative, it's always something new.
For more case studies and webinars, go to our PRISM YouTube channel.